Counts today on Fortitude Through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. It's the first time that I'm actually doing the video and I'm punishing my team because on the Zoom calls I have to listen to it, so joke's on them. But today, where it counts, this is important because I actually was listening to, I do a app for my education. I'm doing the philosophy. So I've been going down the Socrates and the Plato rabbit holes lately. And it's very interesting because, Socrates, I mean, he was basically killed for asking questions. He didn't care about his outwardly appearance, big scraggly beard, hair unkempt, robes were always a mess. And he was always just wandering around the marketplace asking questions and just harassing people in the market. So it's interesting here, the quote by Seneca: "Inwardly, we ought to be different in every respect, but our outward dress should blend in with the crowd." So what is Seneca saying? Now, Seneca, a very wealthy man, entertainer. So here's Ryan Holiday's spin. Diogenes the Cynic, a cynic is a different school of philosophy, was a controversial philosopher who wandered the streets like a homeless person, kind of like Socrates, right? A few thousand years later, his utterances still make us think. But if most of us had seen him at the time, we would have thought, who is that crazy guy? It's tempting to take philosophy to the extremes, but who does it serve? In fact, rejection of the basics of society alienates people. I know I make people uncomfortable. I know I do. Because I'm sitting there, I stay in my own little bubble, read to myself, have my headset on, taking notes, I'm in line for the plane. I know that I'm different. And it makes people feel uncomfortable. Get a lot of sideward glances, a lot of side eyes, like, what the hell is that guy doing over there? But it is what it is. But here's where I blend in, right? And this is where we talk about it. More importantly, the outward transformation in our clothes, our cars, and our grooming might feel important, but it's superficial to the inward change. That's the change that we only know about. So, and here's what I love. One of my favorite mentors, I talk about all the time, Ken Van Oorstrand, Vietnam vet, multi-millionaire, never went to college type of guy. You would look at him and you would think he was damn homeless. He was driving around in either a beat up diesel Jetta wagon with about 500,000 miles on it, or in an old white Chevy van that he switched out probably 4 or 5 motors. Why would a guy with that much money drive around 2 beat up ass cars? Now, mama had a nice car always in the garage right at home, but he didn't need that. And he was always wearing jeans with holes in them, hair all unkempt. But you sit down, you have a conversation, and every one of them was like a lesson. It was amazing. And I realized then that the people who try and look rich, the people who try and look smart, they're the ones that are really trying to compensate for something. So that's the thing all the time. Like, I get it. The number one thing that I hear when I travel: "Are you a pro wrestler? You look familiar." No shit, get it all the time. Now, I don't know who's in pro wrestling. I don't watch pro wrestling. Not a clue. But I looked at the one guy, and I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Well, you're big and jacked and strong." He goes, "You must be, I said, don't judge a book by its covers. I'm actually an intellectual, my man," which is true. I'm old and broken. I couldn't wrestle someone if I tried. I'd hurt myself getting in the ring. But the truth is, my outward appearance does not match the inward man that I am. You look at me, I look like a big alpha beast, right? Grunting, dragon, knuckle dragger, I think they call him, right? Couldn't be further from the truth. I read every day. I study philosophy. I'm committed to my emotional intelligence. When have you heard a knuckle dragger talk like that? So it's interesting because where it counts is really what's important, and that's on the inside. And yes, 100%, I use my external appearance as a metric. As a metric for myself. It's that simple. It is not for vanity. Don't care what people think about me. Because whatever they think, I could probably tell them something that's worse. You got a story? Oh yeah? Let me wait until you hear this one. That's the truth. But I guess it depends on who you talk to, right? That's where perspective comes in. It's very interesting. I'm going to share this because this is a stoic moment for me. I don't have a relationship with my ex-wife on social media. My kids haven't talked to me in over 2 years. So anything that I get is secondhand knowledge. And so I recently asked my father, I'm like, hey, could you try and get some pictures of the kids for me, you know? And I took some screenshots of some social media stuff, and my kids are using their mother's mother's name, last name. So that was interesting for me. And for a moment, I sat back and I thought to myself, this could potentially sting. However, my opinion doesn't matter here. So I sat back and thought about it even longer without even passing any type of judgment, I guess you'd say. I just thought about it. And I said, you know what? Let me put myself in my son's shoes, right? I am an embarrassment to my son. That's a fact. Because of my lifestyle or what have you, I don't know. But I'm an embarrassment, and that's okay. That's his deal. I nothing. I have no control over that. So I thought to myself, well, if he would be embarrassed using my name, and it makes him more comfortable using his mother's name, well, then that makes complete logical sense. Why would I want my child to be in discomfort for my ego? That would make no sense. So in a purely stoic exercise, something that potentially in the past could have upset me, I said, okay, what's for lunch? And I wanted to bring that up today only because that's a victory for me. It is a complete and utter victory for me. Because in the past, those things would have triggered me. Now, I continue to send my postcards, and I will write on there the O'Neill kids. But perhaps out of respect, maybe I'll just address them as my kids. Because it's best to show them the respect that they're claiming. This is why I started this journey 9 months ago. This is the greatest gift I've ever given myself. And on that, I'm going to get ready for the road again.